I'm Pamela Portnoy, and no one's okay.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Anxious Millennial Podcast. I'm your one and only host, Alexandra. On the podcast today, Pamela Portnoy, girl, we are catching up. It is serious biz.
I cannot tell you how happy I am to see your face. It's so nice to see you.
I'm telling you, like all day, I was like, okay, what can we talk about? What can we explore? By the way, P.S., just full disclosure, we're busy ladies. This has been very, very difficult to coordinate. But we're talking a year and a half ago. These ladies, and I'm talking about her ex-partner, Alexa, shout out.
Who is very much in my heart and life and present, and who will be listening to this.
Oh my God. So these two class acts go ahead and send me the most beautiful bouquet of flowers post-interview about a year and a half ago. Literally still have their note on my desk. It's right there.
Because you are the sweetest thing.
I can't deal. Like, I saw this coming. I'm like, oh, my man, not my man. Even better, my ladies.
My ladies. That makes me so happy. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
100%. And honestly, you guys, I mean, this is why we had to touch base. So Pamela, Pam, one-on-one. I jumped into your nickname really quick. Didn't ask permission.
Oh, hey, Alex. Can I call you Alex?
Some people get really, they're like, no, don't call me that. And I'm like, well, really? Because that's your nickname. But I feel like maybe it's a permission thing. What are your thoughts on that? Seriously.
That is so interesting. It's funny because I get called out on it all the time because everyone in my life calls me Pam, but I introduce myself as Pamela and professionally go by Pamela, but it sounds weird to me when people call me Pamela. I feel like I'm more of a Pam. And then I saw your Squadcast invite and you're like with Pamela and Alex. I was like, does she go by Alex?
Okay.
How do you feel about it?
That's why I couldn't take the risk. I'm like, maybe I jumped in because I think I called you Pam a couple of times on like the first episode. And I'm like, I jumped in too quick. I broke it.
You say my name so nicely too.
Okay. Honestly, this interview's over. This love fest, like, I can't deal. Pam's okay then, right?
I am more than okay.
Okay, fantastic. So Pam, I need to know, we all want to know, since the year and a half that we haven't spoken, what is your word so far for 2022 and why?
I feel like I'm cheating when I'm going to say this, but I will explain why I'm going to say it. I think my word for this year is audacity.
Ooh.
And I totally ripped it off of Catherine Ryan's book, which is titled Audacity. And I am currently reading that right now. I don't know if you guys know much about Catherine Ryan. She's also in Canada and, or she's from Canada and she's currently in England. Anyway, her book is incredible. She's a wonderful comedian and she talks about like her journey, to being the woman that she is and how she's always had like this audacity and how people have, you know, not encouraged, you know, how outspoken she is. And I feel like I need that. That's what I need this year. I need to be a little less apologetic.
Whoa. That really...
So I ripped it off, but I feel like it is what I want. That's the word I want.
It's the intention is amazing. I want it as well. Actually, I'm thinking that is so pertinent to my life right now as well. And you're being overly apologetic is so, like, as millennials also, like, workforce wise, what we've had to deal, not just in these past 2 years, but in the past, I don't know, decade plus, we've had to fight to get like decent work and to be taken seriously and not be called entitled or snowflakes. So we like just decided to say, I'm sorry all the time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I love this not being overly apologetic. I love it.
I also think it's not just, you know, I think definitely our, you know, our generation, but especially women.
100%.
And I'm tired of trying to be small and to be approved of and for everyone to like me. Yes, I am a human being. I want everyone to like me, but at the same time, like, it's exhausting trying. And that's if you're making waves, some people are not gonna be too happy about it. So we're not gonna care too much. We're
I know.
gonna try our best.
I know. I know. Anytime you're different, creative, outside the box, you're immediately judged. This kid,
Yes.
okay, this opens up so many realms right now. I can't even tell you. Like, I'm like, okay. Um, do you notice also when you're being mansplained to? Because this is
Oh
something
my
I'm picking
gosh.
up on so much lately, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
I
It's
want to
the
hear
tone,
these stories. When do you notice it the most? Because yes, the answer is yes. I notice it a lot.
but what is it that makes it specific that you know you're being mansplained to? What is it? Because to me, it's tone.
Tone, definitely. I also I notice it in how I react because if I'm being and I try to call it out when it happens, but I try not to use the word mansplain because I feel like that'll immediately like get someone heading in the other direction and not like in the empathetic place and more in the defensive place, but kind of just nodding along like, yes, I brought this topic up because I have something to say, but you're literally explaining back to me what I was trying to say. And so I find myself like nodding along a lot to what that person is saying. And I don't want to be rude by being like, yeah, exactly what I was saying. But a part of me wants to because we should be able to stand up for ourselves.
Okay, okay. There's so much to what you're saying. So you feel like the second you're, it's almost like your nervous system getting disrupted. Like something inside you is like, oh, this person's trying to explain something to me in a condescending way, and this is exactly what I just said, and this person's trying to reiterate in a way they feel is probably better, which is annoying. That sorry, because it's like it's really like it gets to me when it happens. It's like, and
Rightfully
also,
so.
oh, girl.
I think you're justified in feeling the way you're feeling when that happens.
Also, another piece is the kiddo, sweetie, which PS, yes, still happens. You would be shocked at when that slips up, and it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, my favorite is like when that happens and then I turn it back on them and I call the person that called me that back to them and then they like are taken aback. I'm like, okay, well, how did it feel for you when that happened to you? And I don't like to live by tit for tat, but I think people should give a think to how their words affect people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what you're saying is your strategy, it sounds like you're saying your strategy is you tend to repeat it back to them. And you tend to also tell them that's exactly what I was saying. So are those kind of two strategies you use to break that dynamic a little bit?
I think ideally, having a conversation about it would be my strategy. Do I behave that way in the moment? Probably not most of the time.
Mm,
Sometimes I've done that, but I struggle with wanting people to like me. Again, I'm
mm,
human. And so if I can articulate why my ego is being so pinched by that person, I will try to say it in a way that would maybe create a productive conversation.
mm.
But a lot of the time, unfortunately, I can honestly say I don't. I haven't had the guts. But now that we're talking about it, I'm more aware, like, have the guts. How do you deal with it?
It's a tough one. It's ongoingly difficult because I feel the same way. Pam, it's in the moment. I'm like, I always know something's off when my something in my nervous system, my body tenses. My intuition kicks in and just tells me like, am I being sensitive or is it actually really condescending? So I have to distinguish because I do tend to be a little on the defensive because I really want women to just move to a place where finally we're like at the same spot. We're seeing eye to eye. I know there's work, but honestly, I probably make a joke out of it just as a defense, and then it ends up looking like I thought what they said was hilarious, which is so in the end it's actually not. It didn't teach them anything. It didn't call them out. So I'm the same. I freeze, and then like an hour later I'm like, shit, I could have just called them out.
It's that conversation I have in the car at the top of my lungs, reenacting what the conversation should have been. And I look like a crazy person to the car next to me because I'm so eloquent by myself in the car. But when it comes face to face with the confrontation, I'm deer in the headlights. And I think that's because it's so indoctrinated into us to be pleasing to other people.
Annoying.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying, but it's also the result of, years and generational stuff. So, we can't entirely feel like it's our fault. We should be different. Someone told me, they're like, don't try and get on your soapbox and try to like preach. Cause like the second you preach what the defensiveness you talked about,
Mm-hmm.
that's when people feel like you're attacking them. So I'm like, okay, let me switch gears from preaching and make it more of like a learning moment. But I feel like even a learning moment feels preachy. I don't know. So it's like a catch 22, I feel,
I
you know?
totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. It also, maybe it's something that I need to like think about alone in my own private time and think about how I'd react next time, because my whole fear, and this has happened in relationships, it's happened with family members, I will feel very, very strongly, but unfortunately, I don't have the gift of the articulation as much as other people in my life do. I have noticed that podcasting has helped with that a lot, but I still feel like I'm not content with how I articulate myself on the daily. And anyone can win an argument with me. And of course, the purpose of these conversations is not to win the argument, but I would love to be able to be comfortable enough in standing in my truth.
Whoa.
Um,
Hmm.
I don't know how else to articulate that, but maybe if I just sit with it alone and think of like next time this happens, maybe explore it this way, and so I won't be coming from like the knee jerk reaction of the hurt that they just caused me. I don't know. I
That's
don't know what the best tactic would be.
But that was so profound what you just said about like standing in your truth, um, and really like meditating on what your values are. And P.S. I'm flabbergasted that you just said that you feel like you like you're the most articulate person ever. Like
You're so kind, but it's so not true. I get like wound
why?
up in my emotions and like my face will get hot and I'm just I'll just get huffy and I'm like, you know what? You suck. Like nothing good will come of the conversation if I'm like upset.
What? Okay, you either are like a master of like managing yourself, because like that, let's be real here. Also, like I feel like in your artistry as well, like you I guess had to manage that and really temper down perhaps what you were feeling to be able to, convey the art. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I have never seen you flustered, nor have I heard you flustered. So to me, it's like it's a mind blowing thing what you just said, but also super powerful with the standing in your truth. Um, Speaking of which, I'm curious as far as self care,
Mm.
Pam, or meditation, any of that. Where are you at with that? Do you still do all the self care stuff?
My self-care I've noticed has kind of fluctuated. Um I've been like way more on top of my sleep lately. At the beginning of the pandemic through probably 4 to 5 months ago, I was an absolute shit show when it came to my sleeping hours. I was like sleeping at 3, 4 in the morning, not getting up till like 10. And then I just feel like I'm behind all day and I'm still kind of sleepy. Now I force myself to be in bed at a reasonable hour, lights out by a certain hour. I
Okay.
also find that it really helps me to like keep my light in my place like really low. Like I like create a mood, like light some candles in the evening, and it's just a regular evening, but it really helps me relax. and therapy every week, and um thankful for that, and quality time with my amazing friends when we
Okay.
can.
That,
What's
that
yours?
I mean, everything you just said, except for actually, you just inspired me with the low lighting
Mm.
because I'm also super sensitive to light. So during the day, when I wasn't working remotely, I was in a windowless office. So I needed, now that I'm home, I've like designed my space exactly how I want it because I'm like also really tactile. Like to me, ergonomics and like my chair, things have to feel good and look good and like there has to be good light. But the dim light I like at night, especially as like the sun is candles as well. I don't do the candle thing. I used to collect candles. Speaking of hoarding,
You collected? How
like
big was your collection?
what's the there's a store in America. There's the store in the States called, oh my God, it was all candles. It was all candles. And it was like in
Yankee
Vermont.
Candle?
Yankee Candle.
Did I get it? Really?
Nailed it on the first.
Oh my goodness.
Yankee Candle. I couldn't remember the name because I had a freaking drawer. Actually, I had multiple drawers full of Yankee freaking candles. The drawers all smelled like the beach, but like an expired beach. And I'm like, this
Unexpired beach? What even is that?
I don't even, I don't know. It's some kind of coconut that's been there for too long. But I'm like, this drawer of sticky like stuff has got to go. So I just purged everything, which I don't know if you're into like oh, who's like the big person right now who's like super into like
Oh,
cleanliness.
like creating does not spark joy. Am I right? Am I right? Is that the person you're thinking of?
Yes, 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 yes.
I don't know her name. I didn't even watch the show. I just know that that's the catchphrase.
Okay, wait. Also another show just came to mind, which was, oh my God, Getting Organized or something on Netflix. It was two women and they went to like, I think they went to Khloe Kardashian's house. They went to like everyone's house and they like just completely reorganized closets and color coordinated all the things. And you know what I'm talking about. You
That
know what I'm
sounds
talking about.
amazing and I need it.
It was like therapeutic to see like pens being organized by color and like everything was really pretty. I can't sustain that though. Who in the real world could color coordinate hoodies and keep it as a system? I need to know this. Who?
I can't even keep my hoodies on hangers. You know what I mean? Like they go in I shove them wherever they fit. That's like the one clothing item I don't understand how to put away. Because either like it's way at the top and I have to like throw it and hope for the best, hope it doesn't come back down, or or like shove it in a drawer. It's a mess.
Same. And I try. I just by like the end of a week and a half, it's like back to complete chaos. So I admire anybody who can sustain the clean closet. Do you do anything like compulsively that also makes you feel like you have control in your life?
Oh, I bet.
You're
There's
like,
certainly there has to be. I'm like looking around my house to look for evidence. Um, that's such a good question. I I don't like leaving things where I didn't like pick them up in the first place. I live alone. It's very, I don't have much company. Like maybe once a week I'll have some company, but like I can live without, putting everything away all the time. But I just feel like my house is an absolute wreck if I don't put everything back before I go to sleep at night. But like who's going to see it?
it's for you. You do it for yourself.
Yeah, I wish I was more relaxed about that. But maybe it would be a shit show if I was. What about you? What are you compulsive about?
I have to put my keyboard back under my laptop. Like my desk has to be clean at night for something. Like I can't leave notepads out. I also compulsively take notes on everything. Like I have
I love that about
multiple
you, though. I love that
it's
about you.
Pam, it's kind of unhealthy. Like everything, like I have a gratitude journal. I have like a little agenda, which I showed you before. I have different notebooks for different classes. I have like about 5 notebooks for work. Like I bullet journal and then I bullet. It's actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds super unhealthy. But does
No,
anybody?
it sounds
No.
organized and like it would inspire a lot of productivity.
Yeah, but then you get lost in like post-it notes. I mean, case in point, like no, seriously, I bought this like post-it note ball, which I never use. It's just sitting here
Oh,
as
that
like,
looks so cool.
isn't it the most
It's like,
eye-pleasing thing you've ever seen? Never used it.
how many
Never
sides
used
does it have?
I don't know.
Because
One.
I was gonna say it's like a post-it Rubik's cube, but that is not a cube. It's like a soccer ball of post-its.
It's the most beautiful, useless thing, but like it was colorful and it had a surface to write, and I had to have it. Had to have it.
Okay, so when you take one off, do you feel the need to take one off of each color to keep everything even, or do you hit one color at a time?
No, 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 no. So the OCD thing. Well, I don't know. So actually, let me not judge it, and let me ask.
No, do not judge it.
I can't judge it, right? Because
No.
I personally know people who would do that. Would you do that?
I think it would be one or the other. Like, I feel like I would keep track somehow. Like, either do one or two at a time of each color, or let one color run all the way down and then move on to the next color. Like, I couldn't just pull random colors willy nilly. I don't think that I could do that.
Okay, so
Wow, I
back
sound relaxed, like a relaxed person.
super laid back, not a word in the world. We're talking about layers of post-it notes and the order in which, but you're right. I didn't think of what happens when like one goes down. What happens to the soccer ball? Does it
Me a
deflate?
little lopsided. Becomes a little like turtle shell rather than a full ball.
That's a sad sack of a post-it note Rubik's Cube ball. So that explains my brain, and that's where I am at. So
That's
of
amazing. Can I ask you a question related to this a little bit, sort of?
course,
You
please.
know, there's like a meme that goes around every so often um, that talks, when you're in school and you have different notebooks or folders for different subjects and you color code, like red, yellow, green, blue. What colors are for each subject?
Ooh. Okay. I feel like red is a subject I would have hated. So let's do math since I
That
progressed.
is the correct answer, Alex, because red has to be math. Listeners, let us know because this is the meme that goes around and the red has to be math.
Okay,
Good answer.
you gave me full body chills. Are you serious right now? Why? Do we all have that like
Red was
visceral?
always math for me. I don't know why.
So what the hell is like what's what are the others? What's
For me, like English or language arts was blue.
okay, I can see
Green
that.
is science
Yeah.
and yellow is history.
Actually, you know what? Yes,
Is
yes.
that exactly right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Really?
That's hilarious actually. But you know what? It all kind of makes sense though. I mean, I feel like green is like a no freaking brainer also.
For science, yeah.
Wow, but I'm intrigued with red being math for everyone though. That's fascinating.
I'm
Why?
sure we're gonna get a rogue listener that's like, math was blue, and I'm gonna be like, you're wrong. I'm gonna assert myself and say I'm just kidding. You guys
This
do you, but
no. I mean, I'm sorry. This was a random sample right now and like we're at opposite ends of the continent. I say that, but it's not entirely accurate. Just roll with me on this one. We're like the odds of that could have gone in any direction. The fact that it landed on red, I feel, and we're in 2 different countries. So listen, rogue listener, just saying.
that's
Wild.
amazing though. And the history one also makes sense to me because of like when I think of history, I think of like antique papers, like yellowing papers. You
Yes,
know, that's how
yes.
I thought of it when I was in school. I don't know how you thought of it when you were at school, but that fascinates me that a lot of people kind of do the same thing.
Okay, wait. Another question, school related. What's a habit that you've kept from like school days that just stuck with you?
Hmm. Coffee before class.
Okay, that's a good one.
Procrastination also.
Another good one. Very okay. That
What
one,
about
yeah.
you?
Agendas. Like literally, I have to order agendas I need an agenda. I don't know why. Like it's been in my brain since I was like in high school or even before high school, actually, in middle school. We always had agendas and I'm like, it's stuck ever since.
That's
Does that
amazing. I wish it stuck with me. I have one and I use it, but like most of my appointments I keep in my iPhone, but I love having the paper agenda too. So I don't know how to organize myself to make myself consistent. How do you do it? From the
so
master, teach me.
Oh, right. I wish. Yes. Listen, that's why I needed. Okay, so another thing that's really annoying is that invites can go anywhere. They can go in your G Suite, they can go in your Outlook, and they can go in your Hotmail, they can go in your so or your iCal, and they don't all sync. That pissed me off. You know how many meetings I missed because there was no syncing action.
So it wouldn't show up on any of them, or it would just be hidden in one.
Like it would be on Outlook, wouldn't be on my iPhone, and that's why I'm like I'm putting every meeting ever with stickers because that's another excuse to use stickers. Okay,
Excellent.
stationary hashtag stationary. Um,
Gorgeous.
listen, I'm 34 years old, still use stickers. I'm proud to say it.
I think you should be proud to say it. That sounds great. I have a tab open right now for a sticker company for my water bottle. I'm looking for some stickers that won't wash away in the dishwasher for
Wow,
my water bottle.
interesting. Do
Because my
you?
producer Jason has the same color water bottle I do from the same company, and we gotta figure it out how to tell them apart. So I'm getting
Do you
stickers.
have do you have earpods or anything else that could potentially be swapped, laptops and or other?
AirPods for sure, always.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you have a cover for it or do you have stickers for it? Any way to distinguish that they're yours?
Not yet, but I'm gonna. The second we're done with this, that's what I'm getting.
Because that's not something you want to swap. You don't want to be swapping no earpods with nobody. No, no.
The sexy swap of the earwax as she gags.
That's I yeah, no, I'm sorry. Earpods for that very reason, just like I can't deal. And then when I hate to say it, when I see someone drop one somewhere and just put it right back in, I'm like, what
What do you do when that happens to you?
I like douse it in every hand sanitizer I have lying around. Don't put it back in the ear yet. Get home, let it air dry, douse it again, clean it up with a towel. You can't wet it. So what the hell can you do? I figure the hand sanitizer 30 times over works. I don't know. What do you do?
I do a little bit of hand sanitizer, but I probably don't wait that long to put it back in, which is probably not so great.
Well, I've read that the 5 second rule is an absolute sham.
Is it?
It's not true. It touched the surface. 5 seconds or 0.1 seconds, you're done. It's over.
It's over. You're gonna have growing things growing out of your ears at that point. Oh
Context.
no.
It's been made. I mean, you're that's it. It's a commitment at that point. You make your choice, man.
Yikes. That's good to know. Well, now we're gonna shift how we handle that. Now we're gonna have to shift it because now I'm gonna think of you every time I drop my AirPods. And I've been so clumsy lately, so it's gonna happen soon.
Listen, the clumsiness will always be. I don't even know. Are you tall? How tall are you?
I'm 5'6". How tall are you? I feel like you're taller.
I'm 6 foot, so I trip and fall every day, all day, because like surfaces.
Amazing. Not the tripping, but I'm stuck on your height. I'm stuck on your height. Do you love your height?
That's a good question. I didn't used to, because anything that singles you out is different. You will never love. Um, and pants for some reason, like in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, had to be like 30 inches long, like from everywhere.
Mm.
So I had like water in the cellar at all times. Like my pants were consistently short for a decade. So it angered
Wow.
me until skinny jeans came in, which PS are now out, which like I'm still on the fence. I don't know how you feel about.
We're not doing the skinny jeans being out. We're committed. It keeps everything in. I personally think looks amazing. I'm comfortable in it. I'm not switching. I
Thank
don't
you.
I don't think I could pull off the boot cut. Absolutely not.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate that. And like our winters don't permit like wide pants because you will accumulate an entire puddle on your pant. Like boots, you could tuck skinny jeans into everything,
Totally. And it
right?
right the shadow, the water like stain, the puddle, it keeps rising up the back and then you get cold and then you get sick and then great. Was it worth
Thank you.
it? No.
No, no. And the calf action that skinny jean gives you, like that calf action, it's come on. You can't beat it.
Are
Can't
you out
beat it.
there flexing your calves?
Yeah, precisely. Yes, which PS are really difficult to like. You can't do anything with a calf. Like I had wide calves forever. Couldn't buy boots forever. Couldn't fit into high boots ever. And I feel like
Really?
right, the calves are impossible to like shed weight on. I feel.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What do you say to someone, because I have a lot of tall friends and some of which love their height and some of which like won't ever wear high heels because they're scared
Mhm.
of, being taller than a man. What do you say to them?
Oh my gosh, own it. Wear all the things. If a low if a flat works for you, great. If you want to wear the 4-inch stiletto, just do it. Honestly, it took me a while to feel majestic. Like it made me feel like I'm just this ginormous individual sticking out of a crowd, and it made me feel so like I didn't want to feel big. Like I was a bigger kid too. So like I didn't want to feel big. I was already big. So I'm like I wanted to so I started to do this thing like the slouchy thingy. And I
Yeah.
think my dad, he's like, "No." Like he'd always sort of fix my shoulders back up and
My
he's
dad
like,
would
"No,
always fix my posture too.
you too."
Yeah. But we like to make ourselves smaller and I'm just not no, we're not doing this anymore.
No, 100%. Tell your tall friends to wear the heels. It's actually when you really own it, it kind of shifts the energy in the room and you kind of feel like okay, I'm walking into the room and like I'm really taller than everybody else. Is it freakish? It's really not. It's
No, it's
actually,
not.
but it took me a long time and lots of therapy to to get there. But you know what are you gonna do when
I
you feel
love that you thought about that and worked on that, and that's amazing to me because I actually have I don't know if this is TMI. Oh well. I've dated men that are my height or even shorter because I don't care about that. I care about like can they make me laugh? Do I have a good time with them? And I have dated people that had a problem with me being taller than them. And they said that they would have a problem with me wearing heels. And I understand everyone has their, complaints, but I'm not about to like change how I operate. And I want to be with someone that's like if I happen to be taller than them, look what I caught. you know?
amazing. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, some complexes are really interesting. Like I feel like that's deep-seated stuff for them. Like it's like they were teased as kids. Like it's always the trauma piece coming out when like someone wants you to be different to make them feel more comfortable. You
Mhm.
were verbatim told like not to like wear heels or what happened?
I don't
Again,
precisely remember how like our height difference came up, but I basically we were talking about it and the question came up, would it bother you if I wore high shoes? And they said yes, like point blank without any further explanation. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to change how I do things."
good for you. Good for you.
I mean, I understand like I'm not going to go out of my way to like make someone feel bad, but maybe that's just do you think that there's just compatibilities that just like don't work? Yeah, that
Yes.
that could be it, you know?
Yes, yes. And
Different preferences.
of course different strokes for different folks. It's totally look, I mean, I think the mere fact that and I'm sure he found his person or his lobster.
I
I'm
think
not
he did
sure.
actually, so that's wonderful.
So good for him, and if it worked out for him, and if she's okay with whatever dynamic that is. So you know what? It's I always see these moments as gifts because who told me lately people was my therapist quoting my therapist.
We
Um
love a good therapist moment. I quote mine all the time.
she's the bomb, and she told me people will tell you and show you who they are, but you have to listen. So,
100%.
I mean, it's up to us to not pick and choose because sometimes the signs and the flags are really right in front of us, right?
Yes.
Interestingly enough. So, I feel like that would have been your flag, which you chose differently, I gather,
Oh,
right?
yes, definitely. We moved on pretty quickly after that, but I am by no stretch like anywhere close to perfect. Like I have definitely been assaulted by the redness of so many flags in my life, and I'm like,
God.
I see it. Is it that red though? Yes, it is.
Oh my
But
God.
you
Oh
know,
my
I have
God.
ignored it and I've learned my lessons and I'm still learning my lessons. But yeah, it's about taking in what you see for
Yeah.
sure. I think
Yeah.
about that all the time.
Well, look, sometimes I think we also like the thrill of the ride and taking the occasional risk that we think might pay off, or maybe it's you know, the unrequited love when it's like not reciprocated. I chose the wrong people for so long,
Are we
and it
the
was like,
same person?
Pam, you don't understand. Did this happen to you as well? You just kept choosing the wrong individual.
Mm-hmm. Over and over and over again.
It was like a pattern, the wheel, the hamster didn't stop. And I'm like, is it okay? Am I so bold as to ask, like, did you have a type?
I I'd say when I think on the people that I've dated and people that I've been with in the past, the one thing that I could say that they all had in common is they made me laugh and they were very solid in their own truths.
Ooh,
Regardless of what that truth was, I think I love that reassured energy about them, which I was very clearly lacking if I was pursuing just like the wrong people, you know?
okay. I hear
That's,
you.
I think, the best way I can describe it. I mean, there are so many other things that they have in common, but we're not going to get into that. But I think I wanted that kind of like solidity. Is that a word? Solidness.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my personality and my beliefs and my actions that they
Hmm.
had, regardless of
Yeah.
whether they were good or not.
Okay, that's like a bit of a mind-blowing moment because I completely identify with what you just said. It was like it might have even been like fake self-assuredness.
100%. But it was strong. The
It
force
was
was strong.
it looked and sounded convincing. So you know what? Walked right into the freaking fire and I got burned and I got burned again. And it was like, oh man, I remember a move. This was so bad, Pam, if I could tell you this. He just, so individual, let's call him X.
X. Appropriate.
Individual X would not give me the time of day. So I decided the right place to confront him about it was like maybe around midnight at a bar where he happened to be, which is in hindsight, I mean, everything was wrong about that. Like,
Okay.
it was that wrong courage at the wrong time. And I was just so mad. And I just went right up to him and I'm like, just why? What's wrong? Can we just like let's just go for coffee? And I'm thinking back at this conversation, I'm like, why would you ever put yourself in a spot to look like you're begging anyone to spend time with you? Made no sense.
I
Oh,
struggle with this a lot myself, and I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I've had so many unrequited romances in my life, and I know exactly what you mean. Like, why would do we like this twisted challenge about it? Like, are we trying to like, why do we feel the need to convince someone that we are of, worth spending time with?
exactly. Exactly. In
It's
fact, so get this. Apparently, so according to studies, in the unrequited love game, it's harder on the person who has to reject than the rejectee because they're going through all of the I know. I fought like my it was a professor of like motivational psychology and we were discussing unrequited love, literally unrequited love. And he said
fascinating.
studies show that they struggle more than the person being rejected because they have to juggle with all of the feeling bad, their guilt, their shame for rejecting someone else. And apparently the burden is subjectively heavier for them than the person getting rejected. Isn't that wild?
That is very wild. And the people pleaser inside of me is shouting, "Oh my God, I feel so bad that I put them through that." How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that?
I know because I felt the same way because I resonate with I am a people pleaser as well. So I for the first when I heard this I'm like, "Oh, I put them through that?"
I made them
Like,
uncomfortable.
I know. I know. It's I swear that when I learned that I'm like I will never I actually because I'm sure you've rejected because you're a gorgeous, amazing, talented woman. So you've had to do the rejecting is what I'm saying.
Everyone I feel like has had both. Thank you for that is a very nice compliment. Thank you. But I feel like everyone's gone on both sides of that coin.
Yes, but do you remember the turmoil when you did? Think about it. Did you feel bad?
Oh my God. Awful. I it actually used to be my mantra that I preferred being broken up with than being the one to break up with someone.
Whoa.
I didn't want to be the one to hurt somebody.
I think that speaks to the like your incredible level of compassion though. And that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks, but also like what a that's such a time waster. Like now I think I would be better with it if I stood firm in the conclusion that like if I do this, we would be saving both of us time and we
Yeah.
could both go find our people now.
Yeah. 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 But I think also the element of kindness that you bring to the table where it's like you genuinely put yourself like with empathy into someone else's shoes. Also like we totally need more of that. Do you watch Drive By Kindness on Instagram when they like shower people with confidence compliments?
I've
Like
Oh yeah, I think I have seen that a couple
they
times.
they just yell out like you're beautiful, I love your hair, and I swear those videos make me like faith in humanity restored. So I just it's kind of awesome that you have that empath side to you,
Oh,
so
thank
keep
you.
it.
I feel
But
like you
also
for sure have that too.
yeah, and it gets heavy, so I understand. So I hear you when you say I wish I had sort of stood more firm in that, and it's less of a time waster for sure. But I kind of like that, we have a really human side to us and we're not cutthroat, psychotic narcissistics.
100%. And I don't know if you've dealt with a lot of people of that ilk um growing up or like in your dating life, and I won't get too far into this, but I feel like having experiences with people like that can create a fear in speaking your truth 100% because you're afraid of how they're going to react.
Well, of course, because it's gaslighting central
Yes,
all times.
gaslighting and threats and just a lot of negativity. And that makes you second guess yourself, which is abusive. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why I think there's an educational piece on what abuse actually is, and it doesn't always have to come in the form of like physical. I think that's why I'm loving all
Absolutely.
this conversation on things like consent and stuff. So these are really important pieces to be talking about. And man, I do not envy anyone in high school who has to deal with, like, we didn't have TikTok, we didn't have Instagram. I know it's like a really aged discourse what I'm saying, but honestly, I think of that and it's got to be tough. I was reading that there's like a TikTok influencer who inhales self tanner through her nose.
I'm sorry,
And
what? Why?
yeah, and doctors are, it's like the thing now. Like instead of actually like spraying on your self tan or going for your like your self tan spray or getting it done, you can inhale it through this. It looks like one of those e-cigarettes, but through your nose. So it works, but like doctors are like, you can have,
Die.
yeah, yeah, major bad health shit.
First of all, I don't even understand how that would work,
I think it comes out through your pores. It's
which can't be great.
no, and it goes into your lungs also. Like,
Also, isn't that product supposed to be external, not internal?
yeah, yeah, but
I mean, it's
because it's
already not
easy,
great for you externally, but I use it on occasion. But no, 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 guys, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not a doctor, but please don't do that. That's not
no,
good for you.
I know, but because like having the little glow is in, like, I don't know, people do it, and youngsters are doing this. So it's like, no, I know, PSA, don't do those things. My God, I feel like you and I can talk about all the things. I Jesus.
I know we definitely can, and you just like reminded me of this video that I watched this morning. It was another podcaster, Victoria, and I'm forgetting her name right now, but she's wonderful, and she went viral. One of the times she went viral was for posting a video that was like the video was edited, and there's like a technology that you can actually edit how your body looks on live video. And so she posted a video of her body edited, and then she showed a picture of what her body actually, or she took a video, the same video of what her body actually looks like, to show that everything we're seeing on social media is curated. And people are now having conversations with their children saying, like, if you see it on social media, it's basically like watching a movie set. Costumes, lighting, editing.
Oh,
Keep that in mind. Don't think that this is real.
oh my God.
Are you okay? Bless you.
Of course, that had to happen at that moment. That was,
Was that a cough or a sneeze?
it was like a hybrid of both. I don't even know.
Bless you.
Oh my God. I don't know if that got picked up, but if it did, I'll edit it out.
Oh no, I thought you muted yourself when you were doing it. She's doing it again, you guys. Oh no, I made her cough.
It's because you blew my mind with that. I mean,
Or
I
it could be
couldn't.
the talk of like inhaling tanner into your lungs.
Oh my
What?
God. I'm tearing, and for all the wrong reasons. I know social media is such, it's like, I don't know, it's like either the beginning of the demise of, like, what the hell? I don't even know what this is going to look like. The picture. I can't there's no vision for me in what this is going to look like in several decades from now. It's scary. I
Yeah.
mean, algorithms, we know this based on things that have happened. They tailor it to your preference, and you know, it's freaking scary. It's freaking scary, all the false everything out there. And my voice breaking is like an indication to tell me, like, Alex, you're allergic to this subject, because like I have such a love-hate relationship, Pam, with social media.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like, I blame it for a lot, I swear, for my
Mm-hmm.
unhappiness, for my FOMO, for a lot of things. Do you feel that way as well?
I do feel that way, and I do notice there I go through periods where I'm like very like hooked into the social media, and then I go through periods where like I get busy. Like I just moved to a new place, like so for a while my social media use was cut down a lot, and I notice when that happens my mental health shoots up, and I that can't be coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is definitely a correlation. I would definitely say so.
Do you mute accounts that make you feel bad? I've been muting
I don't
like
think I've ever muted an account, but I just like I try not to engage. I move on, and I've honestly been a lot more on TikTok, which is a whole different animal but also the same, and I just like try to scroll really fast if I'm like I don't want to see that. Then I'll like dive into like some of the science-y psychology stuff, and I'll be like I'll stay and give it a like, maybe a follow if I'm really excited, and like get more content. But then there's also that question of the more you do that, is that really smart because you're purposely not exposing yourself to ideas that are different than your own? I don't know. I don't know.
wow, that's a huge point. And a friend of mine who's super young and really wise told me constantly surround yourself by people that just don't share the same opinion as yours. And even if you're super progressive, I know it's like a hard decision to make because that means you have to get super uncomfortable with some conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But if we listen to actually listen instead of actually listening to respond, we learn about them. Someone also told me like ask why. If someone has like beliefs that are wild and like completely different than yours, just ask them like tell me everything. Like walk me through, why you think that way, like what brought you to that place. It'll make them non-defensive and you might actually learn about where they got to that place. It's tough because yeah, there are conversations about what's clearly happening in the world that can be really polarizing, which is a tough call.
100%.
Yeah.
You're speaking to my soul right now because I've experienced that a little bit lately, with people in my life, and it's tricky, and I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I'll get so put off that I'll shut down, but I have to try not to. But at the same time, a conversation's a two-way street, and I feel like if we both go into it with the goal of listening to understand rather than listening to, I don't know,
Res-
appease or to waiting to talk, like you said.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. I haven't
Super.
mastered that yet, but I'm working on it.
Look, we're all works in progress, and I feel like at the end of the day, we're all really human, and you're an exceptionally awesome human.
So are
And
you.
seriously, I
Thank
mean,
you.
this made my life to reconnect with you. I want to do like I keep saying like let's do part 1,800.
We have to keep doing
1,800.
check-ins,
Yeah,
seriously.
this was really fun. This was
This
really
is
fun.
so fun. Can I ask you, I have a final question for you. I don't know where you're at with your questions and your outline and your super prepared amazingness, but I want to throw the question that you threw at me at the beginning back at you because I wanted to ask you, what is your word of the year?
Oh my God, I knew you were gonna do this. You're a genius. I knew it, and I was trying to
You're
mentally.
a genius, and I'm just like using what you brought.
I was like trying to mentally prepare because I'm like, she's so freaking awesome and she's brilliant. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. And I didn't prepare because I was fascinated by everything you were saying because you're
That's fine. I stole it from someone else, so you can take a sec.
I man, present. And
Beautiful.
by present, it's I can't tell you like the constant Pam, it's been nonstop for all of us, but like the the escalator that just doesn't stop.
It's like one of those paintings. What's that artist called that does the infinity staircase?
That
Yeah.
that visual right there, I feel like is my life. And I'm post booster shot today and I this morning felt like not great.
I'm
And I
amazed that you're here right now.
honestly, First of all, it was you. I had to like, I'm like, I need to connect with Pam tonight. Like I drank all the liquids and I had all the soup today, but like I couldn't even take some time to lie in bed to just restore. I felt guilty and I'm so annoyed at that all the time. Like guilty, ashamed for trying to restore and rest. It's annoying. So, and I'm not in the moment. I'm constantly like inboxes now trigger me, like new emails and texts trigger me. So it's like I have another thing on the to-do list. So I think being present might change that because when you're in the moment, you remember that you're safe and that you're okay. And then actually, no one's going to die if you don't respond now or if you take half hour or an hour or 3 hours to just recoup. Because life is, there's a lot of things happening right now. So, like, being present. And that's also for a lot of things that are about to happen. Like my wedding, I feel like I'm not going to be present that day. I have so many things I want to do and I want it to look like, but like I don't even think I can be present. So I really need to like meditate on that. So that actually opened up a whole you opened up a can of worms, Pam. You see?
I I love that answer so much because I struggle with that myself. I really do. Like I'll purposely set aside an evening to do nothing.
Yeah.
And then I start getting antsy. I'm like, I really should check the computer right now. And I end up always losing that game because the voice is really loud. Like, you could be doing something productive right now. In fact, there's a lot of things that you're pushing towards later in the week that you should be doing right now. It's loud. And the thing about the wedding that you brought up, I think Alexa and I probably mentioned it to you that we used to work at a bridal store together.
Yes.
Right. And I find that that's such a common thing with brides. And a lot of brides now incorporate like purposeful moments on their wedding day to try to like make sure that they have, that they're present. Like whether it be like the bride and groom like step away from the party and like look at the party from a different vantage point and just look at all the people that they love having a good time, or sitting down to like have a plate of food, because so many brides and grooms don't eat their own food at their wedding because they're like saying hi to everybody. Like, have you thought about doing something like that to kind of try to stay present that day?
Again, full body goosebumps. Yes. Yes. 1000%. The piece on sort of standing back and just scanning the room without interruption. We kind of discussed how we're going to do this, but and it's going to happen multiple times during the night because a lot of work went into that room, a lot of planning and logistics and just looking at people having fun. Like yes, and you know what, you brought me back because yes, and not just once and not just for like 2 minutes, like yes, and dancing and
Yes.
eating like no one enjoys the food that they so meticulously picked
You're
out.
like, I picked this out meticulously. Did you like it?
Did you like it? Because I have
Did
no idea
it
what
taste good?
but that's really sad. And you're right. I forget. Yes, you guys must have heard so many stories. People must have been like pouring their hearts out to you.
Oh
That's
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a very emotional adventure to go
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
so excited for you. Is it in August?
It's in August.
Yeah, it's soon. It's gonna be sooner than you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to really be able to be in the moment and not feel frazzled and hectic, and because then it's gone and then you never get it back. Hopefully we all hope to get married one time, and you don't get that moment back. So you just anchored me right now. I appreciate that.
Oh, I
Thank you.
appreciate everything that you are, and I love the questions that you were asking. I know we're doing this as a joint episode, so I feel bad. Oh, I'm sending you a heart too. I feel bad. I don't know how long you wanted this episode to be, but I feel like I could talk to you for like 20 hours.
That was seamless. We like full on caught up, forgot we were doing a podcast, and now here we are.
Here we
Uh,
are.
don't feel bad. No, that was and is brilliant. I'm having a blast. Like
It's
this was the
amazing.
best part of my day. Suddenly what booster? I feel great. I'm like rejuvenated. Oh girl.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah,
Yeah,
rejuvenated,
I feel
reinvigorated.
yes, yes,
I love it.
I feel alive again.
I was playing with my parents' puppy today, and this is still the best part of my day. Ooh, Alex competing with
That
Daisy.
that says a lot. I'm honored. Puppies, no, that's impossible. That can't be. That's no, no.
It was very different vibes. Also, she's like teething right now, so she was like biting on my hands a lot. So
What
you
kind
can't
of
do that through the screen.
tell me
But you guys
everything?
are so fun and cute, so both of you have that going for you.
Is her name Daisy? Did I hear Daisy?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like one of my top dog names ever. I think. What is she? Is she a golden? What is she? I feel like that's a golden name.
She's
But
a West Highland White Terrier, like a Westie. Have you ever heard of them?
oh my god, yes.
Yeah. And
Oh
she's like 14 weeks. She's like tiny and really floppy. Every time you pick her up, she wiggles like a fish. She's out of her mind, but so cute.
my god, I'm so jealous. I want a pet so badly.
Are you
Oh
thinking
my
of getting one?
I always wanted my fiance is allergic to everything.
Oh
It's
no.
kind of a bummer. He's like, we can get a turtle. I'm like, he doesn't sound like that, by the way. We can get a turtle. No, he's like, we can get some kind of reptilian. I'm like, no, 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 no
Watch
turtle.
you watch next time we catch up, you have a little turtle sidekick on like a little pillow.
They're
Your new
cute.
co-host.
They're adorable, but they just I know they're so cute, but like they just like I know really no shade to like all you turtle moms and dads and everything. It's just that like I just want like a fuzzy
You want to
something.
cuddle.
Yes, yes. Turtle doesn't give me fuzzy cuddle vibes. Like they're cute, but like who told me they had a ferret? One of my colleagues, they have a ferret.
Uh-huh.
Um, that
How does that
scares
go?
I they're in love with their ferret, but like that's not a species I feel comfortable exploring to have in the house. I don't know. What are
Yeah,
your
I'm not
thoughts?
familiar with the ferrets so much. I don't know like what they need and what they're like. They're the ones that need like lots of tunnel systems, right? Because that's their inclination is to be in like tunnels and stuff.
It's they're the quirkiest little things. They're adorable. They have a great personality about them, but they're yeah, they're on the quirky side of the track. Wouldn't be my first go-to, but they're cute. They're
I feel like
cute.
they're illegal in certain parts and I don't know why. I should look this up, but I feel like I don't know, in certain parts of the states I don't think they're legal as pets. I could be completely wrong. I'll find
It
out.
it kind of makes sense. It's kind of like the same thing as having a potbelly pig as a I don't like as a or a pig period as a pet. Like is that even legal? Can you have like a farm animal in a house? I don't know. Can you
I
have
know
a
people do. I just don't know the specifics of what that would require or entail or how it would go.
me
I love
too.
all animals, but I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be confident in being a parent to every kind of animal. I'm pretty
No.
confident with dogs because that's what I grew up with.
Oh, do you remember your first dog?
Oh yeah, my parents have always had Westies though. They have like a thing that they always have Westies, and so our first dog was Rosie, and she was a Westie as well.
Rosie?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What about you? What was your first pet?
Okay, so I had a oh god. My pets range goldfish and then one so Bubbles.
Bubbles is a great name for a goldfish.
I felt very good about myself when I chose that name. And then my Persian cat Pumpkin, who was
Oh,
the
so cute.
cutest. Yeah, yeah.
That's a great name.
I love cats. Like to me, I love cats. I feel like they're really simple and they're super quirky and awkward and they'll make you laugh. Dogs too, but dogs are like big babies and I feel like they actually like you. Cats don't.
Cats are like, you're here, that's fine, but like, this is my space.
Constantly asking for space, refusing hugs unless they're in the mood, which sounds like a lot of men out there, but it's fine. Like, no, seriously, like
I've
cats,
already had enough unrequited love in my life. I don't need a cat.
Thank you. Exactly. So there must be something about, I don't know. I feel like I have to constantly chase or something. I don't know, but I
That's
love
so
cats.
funny.
I love
Cats are great. I love all of them. Can I ask you, are you okay?
cats.
Snuck
Honestly,
it in there.
listen, now I really, really am. I'm so okay.
Amazing.
Are you okay?
I'm better than okay. I'm so thrilled. I was nervous that I'd feel rusty, and I did feel rusty at certain points. Um, I loved seeing your face and chatting with you. We shouldn't let that much time go by before we do this again.
I know, I know, I know. And I deeply appreciate you taking the time out of your day,
You
and with the
too.
studio and everything and all the things happening. Oh no, like this was like it was the highlight, so it had to happen. Like,
Thank you. I'm so happy you asked, and I can't wait till next time. This was such a blast.
oh my God. So, you're awesome. Come back anytime. I'll come back again. We'll just
Yes, you come back anytime, and I'll come back. We'll just both come back.
let's just just keep coming back.
Yes.
Hugs.
This podcast was produced by Jason Crow and me, Pamela Portnoy, with music by Jordan Ross Weinhold. You can follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at No One's Okay, and please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. We love kind reviews. No One's Okay is also on YouTube, so if you want to see our faces, please subscribe to our channel. An extra special thank you goes out to Sean Moore, Claire Palmer, Jackson Palmer, Tiffany Haymoff, and Alexa Marie Anderson. This podcast was recorded at Soundworks Studios. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.